Here's the question everyone holding XRP is asking right now. Will XRP reach $8 in 2026, or is it going to stay stuck at $1? And the answer isn't complicated. It comes down to one vote, in one building, before one deadline. But here's what nobody is telling you. There isn't one deadline. There are two. And the second one, happening 10 days after the first, could matter even more. As of today, XRP is trading around $1.08. Over the past year, it's dropped over 40%. And yet, one of the largest banks on Earth just published two price targets, both still on the table, separated by a 500% gap, $2.80 or $8. And later in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 scenarios that could play out after August 8th, and exactly what traders and investors should and should not do before, during, and after each one. Stay with me, because what you do in the next 18 days could define your entire year.
Why believe Standard Chartered? Standard Chartered, Tier 1 global bank, $800 billion in assets, running an ETF flow model, not vibes. They project $4 to $8 billion in XRP ETF inflows if the bill passes. Their model produced two targets, $2.80 and $8. Same bank, same analyst. The only variable, one Senate vote. So why is XRP stock at $1, down over 65% in 12 months, lost nearly 6% this past week alone? The Clarity Act delay, hawkish Fed policy, whale selling, and slowing ETF inflows all weighing on sentiment simultaneously. XRP is a loaded spring. The Clarity Act is the trigger. What is the Clarity Act? First federal framework for digital assets, draws a permanent line, SEC versus CFTC, replaces regulation through lawsuits with rules written by Congress. The latest Senate draft runs 616 pages. Nobody fully understands what's in it, and they have 1 week to vote on it. Why does XRP specifically need this? Right now, XRP's commodity status rests on guidance a future administration could reverse overnight. The Clarity Act turns that into federal law, permanent, untouchable. Where does the bill stand? Senate Majority Leader Thune wants a floor vote before August 7 recess. Miss that window, bill likely slips to 2027. Senator Lummis has warned it could slip all the way to 2030. So why is it stalled? Republicans need 7 Democratic crossovers, only 2 secured. One word holding this up: Trump. Trump's 2025 financial disclosure listed $1.4 billion in crypto earnings, his largest income source. Senator Elizabeth Warren demanded ethics guardrails before any Democratic vote. Reports of a compromise briefly pushed Polymarket odds to 43%. That optimism lasted about a week. Back to serious. Senator Lindsey Graham died. A confirmed yes vote, lost. McConnell still absent. Margin for error, almost zero. What are the odds now? Polymarket, where $3.4 million in real money has traded on this single question, gives it 28%. That number was 82% in February. 82 to 28. 5 months of gridlock. But Tom Lee says prediction markets underestimate the real odds because restrictions limit informed political trading. Polymarket says 28%. Tom Lee says higher. Someone is catastrophically wrong. And that debate may not even be the biggest story, because there's a second catalyst almost no one is talking about.
Remember at the beginning I told you there are 2 deadlines? Here's the second one, and virtually nobody is covering it. On May 19, 2026, President Trump signed an executive order directing the Federal Reserve to review the rules that keep crypto and fintech firms out of Reserve Bank payment accounts. The order tells the Fed to consider options for expanding access and to decide on completed applications within 90 days. May 19th plus 90 days equals August 17, 2026. Can Ripple get a Federal Reserve master account? The 3 firms most directly positioned to benefit are Ripple, Anchorage Digital, and Wise. The Fed also opened a comment period on skinny accounts, a framework that could let non-bank institutions access Federal Reserve payment rails directly. To understand why this matters, the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City rejected Custodia Bank's master account in January 2023, citing its crypto focus. Founder Caitlin Long petitioned the court after lower courts backed the Fed. That's how hard it has been for crypto firms to get Fed access. Trump's executive order is trying to change that system entirely. What does this mean for XRP? Right now, Ripple goes through banks to access U.S. payments. A master account means going direct. No intermediary. No permission from the banks that fought them for a decade. That's the difference between being a crypto company and being payment infrastructure. Now put both deadlines together. August 7, Clarity Act either passes or stalls. August 17th, Fed must decide on payment access. If both go positive, XRP gets legal clarity and direct access to U.S. payment rails in the same month. And that is the scenario Standard Chartered's $8 model was built for, which brings us to the part everyone actually came here for.
Here's what most XRP videos won't do. They'll give you a price target, but won't map out the scenarios. Scenarios are what help you make actual decisions. 5 outcomes, price range for each, what to watch for. Scenario 1, full send. Clarity Act passes plus Fed grants payment access. The dream scenario. Standard Chartered projects $4 to $8 billion in XRP ETF inflows if the bill passes, and that scale of capital is what gets you from $1.08 to $8. The XRP 52-week range spans from $0.3865 to $3.6556. The $8 target would be a new all-time high, and the long-term roadmap goes even further. Standard Chartered projects $7 in 2027, $12.60 in 2028, $19.60 in 2029, and $28 by 2030. Analyst chart nerds independently confirm the $27 level aligns with the 161.8% Fibonacci extension. Same target, 2 completely different methodologies. Q4 range, 250 to 8. Watch for, bill clears 60 votes and Fed announces payment access expansion. Scenario 2, half win. Clarity Act passes, but the Fed delays. Most likely positive outcome. Law passes, Fed drags its feet, because the Fed always drags its feet. Standard Chartered's $2.80 revised target becomes the realistic ceiling. The legal clarity alone removes the overhang, keeping institutions on the sidelines. Q4 range, $1.60 to $2.80. Watch for bill passes, but Fed issues a still reviewing statement. Classic Washington delay tactic. Scenario 3, the delay. No vote before recess, push to September. Dangerous, but nuance matters. For now, Polymarket traders appear to be pricing in uncertainty rather than outright failure. If the Clarity Act doesn't get a vote before August recess, the timeline extends into the fall, where other legislative priorities could push crypto regulation further down the queue. The market might grind lower instead of crashing. Q4 range, 95 cents to $1.15. Watch for Senate leaves without voting, but leadership signals September return. That's the difference between postponed and dead. Scenario 4, the kill. Bill fails the floor vote. Worse than a delay. A failed vote proves lack of support. Brian Gardner, chief Washington policy strategist at Stifel, wrote that if the Senate fails to pass the bill before the August recess, the bill's prospects would deteriorate materially. Fear of a multi-year delay creeps in. Break-even sellers cap every bounce. XRP drifts toward yearly lows. Q4 range, 80 cents to $1. Watch for vote happens but falls short of 60. This is the worst possible signal, because it proves the support simply isn't there. Scenario 5, Black Swan. Bill fails. Macro deteriorates. Fed raises rates. The scenario nobody wants to discuss. Bitcoin trading near $64,468. Fear and Greed Index sitting at 26, deep in fear territory. If the Clarity Act fails and the Fed hikes, regulatory failure stacked on a macro headwind simultaneously. The XRP 52-week low is 38 cents 65. It can fall much further than where it sits today. Q4 range, below 80 cents, potentially retesting 2025 lows. Watch for bill fails, Fed signals hawkish, Bitcoin loses $60,000 simultaneously. There's your table. 5 scenarios, 5 price ranges. Screenshot it. Don't walk into August without it. Now, knowing these 5 scenarios, let me tell you what not to do, because this is where most traders destroy themselves. I've watched retail traders blow themselves up around binary events for years. Always the same 5 mistakes. Mistake number 1, going all in before the vote. You hear $8 target and throw your entire portfolio at it. Here's what happens. Millions in long XRP positions get liquidated on a single day, not from a bill failure, from a normal Wednesday. Imagine what an actual Senate rejection does to an oversized position. The bigger your position, the worse your thinking gets under pressure, every time. Mistake number 2, trading the headline instead of the plan. When the vote headline drops, your feed explodes. Every influencer screams buy or sell simultaneously. XRP can move in minutes what usually takes days, but that speed removes the margin for error. The traders who survive binary events are not the fastest. They're the ones who planned while the market was quiet. Build your plan now, not at 2 a.m. when the headline breaks. Mistake number 3, assuming the vote is the trade. Most dangerous mistake, least discussed. Prediction market odds can shift quickly on political signals, as the swing between 32% and 46% within days this month showed. Some of that move may already be in the price because the market has watched this bill advance for months. Remember the SEC settlement in August of 2025, the biggest positive catalyst in XRP's history? XRP had peaked a month earlier. Long-term holders sold into the news. The headline was the exit, not the entry. Mistake number 4. Ignoring the technical setup. During the session, XRP moved between $1.07 and $1.09, extending losses to nearly 5.7% over 7 days. Bitcoin near $64,468. Fear and Greed Index at 26, deep in fear territory. Don't mistake a bounce for a breakout. The chart hasn't decided yet, and neither should you. Mistake number 5, using leverage on a binary event. Bro, serious. A binary event, pass or fail, creates gap risk that no stop loss can protect you from. If the bill fails at 2 a.m., your leverage position is liquidated before you wake up. Low liquidity, leverage, binary outcome, account destruction. Not sometimes, every single time.
Now, before I show you the exact playbook, one quick thing. Everything I just covered took hours of research across dozens of sources, and by tomorrow, some of it could already change. That's why I built the Axiom Intelligence Specialist Desk. Want a verified institutional edge? Join the Axiom Intelligence Specialist Desk for high-conviction crypto intelligence and vetted execution protocols. Normally $62.49, it's now $49.99 a month. Or try it risk-free for 3 days at just $5. The link is in the description. All right, here's your playbook.
5 scenarios, 5 mistakes. Now here's how to actually position yourself. Not financial advice, a framework for thinking clearly when everyone else is panicking. Strategy number 1, size for survival, not maximum gain. Never allocate more than 5 to 10% of your portfolio to any single altcoin facing a binary legislative event. Size so that even if scenario 5 hits, you're still in the game. The traders who survive are the ones still standing for the next opportunity. You cannot trade your way back from a wiped account. Strategy number 2, split your entry, never lump sum. 3 tranches. First, now, while XRP consolidates near $1.08. Second, after the vote outcome, once the dust settles. Third, when the market finds its new baseline, whether that's $1.40 post-passage or 90 cents post-failure. You will never catch the exact bottom, but splitting means you will never catch the exact top either. Strategy number 3, map your exit before you enter. For every scenario, know your exit before it happens, not after, before. Scenario 1, full send. Take partial profits at $2.50. Let the rest ride with the trailing stop. Don't let greed hold you through a sell the news reversal. Scenario 2, half win. Scale out between $1.60 and $2 in stages. Hold a small position for the 2027 re-rating. Scenario 3, delay. Don't panic sell on the headline. Hold, but add nothing. Wait for confirmed September floor scheduling before reassessing. Scenario 4, kill. Reduce exposure immediately. Do not average down into a failed catalyst. Reassess the entire thesis because if the bill dies, the $8 scenario dies with it for years. Scenario 5,
Black Swan. Protect capital. Period. No position is worth your portfolio.
Strategy number 4. Watch 3 signals, ignore everything else. Only 3 signals matter between now and August 17. Everything else is noise. Signal 1, the vote count. The only remaining constraint on pre-recess enactment is whether Senate leadership can produce 7 or more Democratic votes beyond the 2, Ruben Gallego and Angela Alsobrooks, already on record. Every single new yes changes the math. Signal 2, ETF inflow data. Without regulatory clarity, large allocators remain on the sidelines or limit exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum, the 2 assets with the clearest existing regulatory frameworks. If you see XRP ETF inflows spike back toward $50 to $100 million per week before the vote, smart money is positioning early. That's your early warning signal. Signal 3, the Fed's August 17th response. Not Twitter panic, not influencer reactions. The actual Federal Reserve statement on payment access applications. That is the second catalyst. Strategy number 5, prepare for the sell the news trap. Most important strategy of all, and the most ignored. Even if the Clarity Act passes, the initial spike may be the short-term top. Major tokens including Bitcoin, Ether, and XRP recorded gains following the Polymarket movement, though traders largely attributed the rally to strength in AI and semiconductor stocks. That's what anticipation alone does. Imagine what confirmation does, and then imagine what happens the day after confirmation when traders take profits. History says long-term holders sell into the headline. The real sustained move comes weeks later when institutional capital flows in at scale. Take partial profits on the spike, hold your core for the institutional re-rating. That is how you capture both moves.
Listen to what the people who built this industry are saying right now. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong returned to Capitol Hill and described the bill as being at the 1 yard line. 1 yard line. We are this close and we can still fumble. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse went public on July 22nd with a direct message to Congress. Perfect can't be the enemy of good. The Clarity Act is closer to becoming U.S. crypto law than it has ever been, but it is not law yet. When CEOs publicly beg, it tells you 2 things simultaneously. It's close enough to fight for, and it's fragile enough to fail. Both things are true at the same time.
You now have what most XRP holders walking into the next 18 days do not have. 5 scenarios, 5 strategies, 2 deadlines. Here is your calendar. Today, XRP around $1.08. Waiting. August 7, the Senate vote. The Clarity Act either moves forward or loses momentum. August 17th, the Federal Reserve's deadline on payment access. 2 dates, 5 scenarios, 18 days. The question is not whether XRP moves. It's which direction. Now I want your prediction. Which scenario plays out? Type 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the comments. After August 17th, we'll come back and see who got it right. If this video helped you understand what's actually happening behind XRP, hit the like button. It helps YouTube show this to more XRP holders before these deadlines arrive. And if you know someone holding XRP, share this video with them. Most investors are walking into the next 18 days without a plan. Now you have one. Subscribe and turn on notifications. When the Senate votes or the Federal Reserve responds, I'll break it down here as soon as it happens. And if you want institutional-grade crypto intelligence before the market moves, check out the Axiom Intelligence Specialist Desk linked below. You can try it for just $5. The next 18 days could define XRP's next major move. You have the playbook. Use it.